at home, government is clamping down on syndicates who trade in stolen scrap metal. A 6-month ban on the export of scrap will be implemented in a bid to halt cable theft. Newzroom Afrika's Ntokozo Khumalo has more on this.
Scrap metal theft not only cripples the country's infrastructure, including our rail and transport systems, but it also cuts down on production, which stifles economic growth. The ban will be implemented in 3 phases. The first will prohibit the export of copper and copper alloy scrap. Phase 2 includes a licensing system to be put in place for all copper trading in the country. And the third phase will consider amendments to existing legislation. Ibrahim Patel, Minister of the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition, says the costs would continue to mount if these serious measures were not introduced.
The researchers estimated that the cost of the theft exceeded 47 billion rand annually. And they did so by looking solely on the economic cost to Transnet, to Eskom and to PRASA, as well as the reduced output of the mining industry.
Patel adds that the damage to state's infrastructure deeply compromises energy supply, transport, economic growth and job creation.
First, to reduce demand for stolen scrap metal by limiting export of certain products for a limited period, and using that period to finalize a further set of measures to better regulate trade in these products.
The second strategy is to strengthen the country's logistics and distribution networks to disrupt criminal syndicates. Minister of Public Enterprises Pravin Gordhan says, government aside, businesses are also losing revenue.
Up to November this year, some 742 kilometers of cable has been stolen. This is still a 30% improvement on the previous financial year. So you can imagine, try and imagine 1,000 kilometers of cable sitting around us and the kind of impact that that has on the movement of locomotives and a couple of hundred wagons behind those locomotives as well. So inevitably there are delays. Secondly, it also has an impact on which type of locomotive can be used on which type of rail. And if the damage is not anticipated or known, you then have derailments.
The temporary ban was approved by Cabinet earlier this month and follows a comment period on a draft policy outlining the restrictions on exports. For Newzroom Afrika, Channel 405, I'm Ntokozo Khumalo in Johannesburg.